welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Van.
Hi. I'm back by popular demand.
So today's just like a quarantine and chill video, and then we're gonna enter the vibes. So consider this our quarantine chats for no reason.
We actually are looking like Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles, but it's
What does
okay.
that mean?
Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. It means that I'm looking like a Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtle. My concealer makes me look like I've got a mask. Can't you see? Look at me.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's what that meant.
Do you want to use my palettes, guys? Please look how tremendous palettes is. Do you want to show them which color you're using?
I don't. It's an orange color. Just show. It's an orange color. It's from the Zulu palette.
From the Zulu palette. I just use concealer.
Shame. Sorry, guys. I really won't be telling you like what I'm using.
Oh, we're not
really
doing
not
that,
a makeup.
Okay.
It's not a makeup chat. It's not a makeup video at all. The rest of us have been in confinement. I don't know what Van's been in.
Don't say that.
But
the world is listening.
But she's fine. I mean, don't you?
I'm fine. Oh.
Actually, I was dating in quarantine for you guys.
That's where she was ending because I haven't been quarantined.
She literally asked me, how's dating in quarantine?
For her.
And then I'm like...
Because Merv and her bae saw each other every single day since probably last year, June. You guys have seen each other every single day.
No, that's not true. When he went to back to Congo, I didn't see him for like 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
I didn't think he was gonna do it. I feel like your look is looking very vibrant. Okay, let me.
It's gonna be very simple.
It's about to go down.
Okay, do you know what the hardest thing about quarantining is that sometimes like you don't know what to say because nothing has happened during the day when you call the person on the phone. Like the person be like, oh, how was your day? It's fine. Like, I mean, nothing's happened since the last time we spoke. You know what I mean?
You know, Jessie Wood, you know what she was saying?
What?
She was like, people on the DM come and they ask her, well, how's quarantine? How was your day? How was your day? Still the same. I'm quarantining, watching TikToks, ratchet, bougie. What is it? I'm savage.
Yeah, classy, bougie, ratchet. Yeah.
So she was basically saying that like she's doing what everyone is doing.
Can I just say also, shout out to the friends of mine who live close to each other and can actually see each other during this quarantine time.
Bing! Some of us have those friends.
They can literally see each other. It's like nothing ever happened. It's just like a normal day.
Like who?
Now I must name the people that are busy defying quarantine. Whisper. Yeah. And I'm just like, God, I see what you're doing for others. So
struggle is so real.
It's real for some more than others, obviously. But anyway, for those of you who are struggling like I am,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? I just want to know. Like,
how are you keeping your relationship buzzed?
Exactly.
What's your love language?
Who, me? Act of service. That's my number one.
That's hectic. So no one can service you right now.
Yeah, no one. So
you
can
can not
just
feel
imagine
loved
like,
right now.
But I feel like I'm existing.
Oh, that's so deep.
Like I just feel like I'm here in this world. Actually, I was thinking of this question. Knowing what you know now, right? What would you have warned me about relationships?
You?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I love how you did your relationship. Seriously. Also, you're quite a good listener. I think that the only thing, like, even about friendship, you listen. Like, you're mindful, you know?
Yeah.
What would ever warned you about relationship? Nothing. I think knowing that what I know now, also what I understand about relationship, which I can't say that I learned from you, but I see that you also applied it after I learned it. It's the ability to shut out the noise.
Is it there?
Yeah, you must have a moment where you shut out the noise. Like the exciting times when you guys first get together, yeah, that's cute and stuff. But for longevity, you need to shut the noise. And just focus on you two and what you two want and what you two want to build.
Because what do you think the noise does?
It puts you pressure when you don't need it. You're good at grading how much to tell someone. Like just telling the person just enough. You don't need to know my whole life. You just need to know what I allow you to tell, which is something that like I've only gotten good at now. And I think that preserved your relationship amazingly. The ability to just mind your own business. Because honestly, friends, guys, we love friends. You guys know that I'm a veteran of the homie of my youth. But sometimes we just need to keep the homie of our youth like at home while we work on our relationship. in the work field. Do you know what I mean?
You know, there was a
And you did that very well.
There was a Rouge song where she says, I don't tell my friends because my friends judge me. Do you feel like that's true?
Absolutely. Not just judge you, also it's a small thing like this that plants a seed. When you start a relationship and someone says, what are his long-term goals? What are his short-term goals? Nigga.
Do people ask people that?
Definitely. In friendships.
Like, I mean, do you ask,
serious?
On both levels, like, do you ask people that? Like, when you've dated people in the past, do you ask them, what are your long-term?
No.
So how exactly does your friend go and ask you, what are the long-term goals of your man?
Long-term
Yeah,
goals?
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you yourself don't...
Yeah. I think they just want to find out if the person is serious, if it's serious. I don't know. A lot of people actually ask me that. Is he serious? Is this forever? People ask me that a lot.
I think also I can be very standoffish. Like, if someone asks me something that I just feel like is none of their business, I'll be like, wow, dude. Do you understand what I mean?
Do you know what's the nice thing about your friends? They understand boundary. I'm actually just realizing that. They understand that you get to tell them what you want at the time that you are ready. They don't get to ask you when you haven't opened your mouth. I don't have a lot of those.
I guess maybe
I have a lot of friends asking me because I've opened the door of answering.
Yeah.
So they feel like, oh, so who's bae?
Oh, whereas for they feel like entitled to the conversation.
Whereas for you could be with or without bae. Nobody's gonna know, and none of your friends asks you that. There's that sort of boundary that says, if she hasn't seen anything, she's not ready, but I'm wishing her all the best.
I think they kind of just happen. The more you do life with people, they just become like, okay, we're close enough for us to be asking these questions.
I feel like it's a little bit of a projection. I have a tendency of being very transparent, and my transparency sometimes, I think people understand it as she can tell me anything at any time.
Ah, I see.
So I can't really blame the peeps. It's also partially my fault because
so your openness makes
people feel like they can ask me anything.
But in turn, do you ask the same?
Never. I wait for people to tell me stuff, eh? Yeah, because I think that life is hard. You know what I mean? Don't you think so? Life is a bit hard to be asking people what are your goals?
I was gonna say, you know, the weird thing is, hey, girls sometimes, you need to be very aware of the type of girlfriends that you have. Let's say I go out to Fratelli's, I meet a friend.
I
meet a friend, like this girl, she becomes my friend, right? Then through her I meet another friend, and then through her I meet someone else. That girl remains my point of contact, right? Even if I'm friends with the other friends that she's introduced me to, I try as much as possible to make her my point of contact because I've known her the most, right? The longest. Something that I tell her, I probably won't tell someone else that I met in that circle, right? Let's say I have a circle at varsity. With my varsity circle, I'll tell one person in that varsity circle something. So I try as much as possible, and I've always been an advocate of personal friendships. Sometimes when you're in one crew now, and you tell everyone in that crew like, oh my gosh, I'm dating, especially from what I've seen, especially like in
just finish that sentence. Oh my god, I'm dating.
Like if you're in one crew and you tell like many people like, oh my gosh, I'm dating this guy. What ends up happening is you and that guy dating becomes the topic of conversation for that crew. Do you understand what I mean? But if only one person that you trust in that crew as your personal friend, you only tell them that, and even in you telling them, you tell them, this is how I always tell stories. Let's say I tell you today something that happened, right? Then I'll wait like 2-3 weeks, 4 months, then I'll tell you something else completely different. Then 2-3 weeks, 4 months, tell something else completely different. Then you don't think that my life is in shambles. Do you understand what I mean? Because I don't give you the consistency of juice. I tell my friends, if you feel moved to tell me, tell me. If you don't feel moved to tell me,
it's okay.
We can move forward. You know what I mean?
And you know that's so important. I don't feel like I have those friends, to be honest. And because my friend, like, don't be offended. This is not the time. But I don't feel like I have those friends. Those friends that allow me to take time. Oh, but did I not have to learn, Sean? I had to learn that your relationship isn't a group topic. Do you know what's funny, Flace?
Yeah.
I feel like when I told my friends, there were more issues. So when I told people, I felt like I came to the relationship with more problems depending on what the person that I spoke to reflected at the time. Then, like the person who probably, let's say you say something like,
Someone says you like the socials. That's the easiest.
Oh, social media.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. And then I say to the person that like, oh no, he said that I like the social media, right?
Yeah.
And then the person is gonna be like, but it's your job. That means that he doesn't respect your job.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Then I bring that energy of you don't respect my job to him. However, now what I find is that if I just keep quiet about it and then we discuss it fully, like I didn't keep quiet during that conversation, because you know what used to happen before?
What?
Is that because you're so used to speaking with friends, I never completed conversations with him. It was always in parts. And before I completed the conversation, I already go to my friend and be like, oh, this is what happened. Instead, now what I do is just keep quiet and sort it out with him.
When you look at that situation, how do you feel like you have, I think, grown in terms of just impartation?
If I was to do that,
like
that relationship,
not that relationship, like if you were to find
yeah,
someone again and then they show you and you're like, okay, cool, there's certain things that you feel like are your job, like going on to social media
or social media,
and someone said,
so you're saying to me what would I have done differently?
yeah, like what have you learned from that encounter?
Instead of going to tell a friend, sort out your issue with your man.
Girls, we have an issue with something that someone said, but we won't bring it up, we won't confront it, we won't say, oh no babe, why did you say that like this, because I feel like I'm in social media. You have a feeling that makes you go, but why did he have to say that like that? But you won't bring it up. You'll go to your friend, because you know there's safety numbers, and women love having a huge amount of people agree with them. That's just what we like. The friends I have, they'll be like this, like try to show his parts and in your parts. Then obviously the more you speak, because you also have to understand how you relate topics is how your friend's gonna take it. So if you relate where you're mostly right, that's how she's gonna start taking like, really? Is that what you said? And what did he say? And then now she's like, she started off as a mediator, now she's just like, nee dog, something wrong with this homie.
And in honest truth, it may actually be nothing wrong with him. But had you had the time, for me, in this context that you're speaking, had you had the time to discuss it with him and not brought it to a friend, you actually get to know him instead of bringing in friends and stuff like that. So
There's another thing that my brother taught me, is that you don't have to, not everything needs to be an issue. Some things you must let it go.
Am I not bad at that, please?
Like not everything is an issue. Like
you
just
know me,
let it go.
Making an Oprah show out of anything. Can I just say hey to Christian girls? This is what I learned from my Christian walk, okay? How the message of like, be whole before you get in a relationship. I 1000% for that message. However, what I did find with time and being in that relationship, what I found is that oftentimes as Christian girls, because we're so intentional on being whole, that the moment you find someone, there's maybe a tendency of thinking that you're perfect. That like, oh no, I worked through this. And so you're looking at the person that comes in your life and you're deciphering him based on the word. And you're like going through the word and ticking if he's got the nod. And ticking if he's got the characteristics of a king. And sometimes you can't do that. In fact, oftentimes you can't do that. You can't see someone and grade them on your perception on perfection. Just be mindful of just looking at a person as if on a list.
Is this something I want? Or is this something that God wants from me that will be able to help me reach my destiny? All I'm asking you is, will you rip up your list?
For me, that practice started from the idea that, oh no, I must to be whole. Great message, badly applied by myself. Great message. Should you be whole? Absolutely. But don't. Your definition of whole remains with you. My definition of whole cannot be imposed on Merv. So if God has healed me in the area of communication and I communicate thoroughly, I cannot project that on Merv. And if Merv communicates badly, she's not a woman of God. Like, am I making sense?
Yeah.
And the biggest alarm that I've gotten from being Christian and dating.
You just put on lashes and then
Put on lashes, I put on, guys.
Did everything.
But I went crazy basically. I put on glitter on my lids, put on grindstone, made it a little bit smoky, went to find the deepest Cardi B lashes. Lashes is like adulting.
Okay, moving on to face. Being a Christian girl and dating and how that works out. It's good for you to be cautious of the people you date because, I mean, no one wants to date for no reason. I kind of take whatever effort the person's putting as the effort I apply. If you act like it ain't nothing but a vibe, I'm also gonna act like it ain't nothing but a vibe, you know? So sometimes I think that what ends up happening is that the person feels like, this girl isn't in it, or this person isn't in it. It's not that you're not in it, but I'm not gonna take your place as a man to lead the relationship and put it on you, you know?
Amen.
But at the same time, I also think that when you're a girl, you need to be cautious, and it's a good thing to be cautious and to not, what do they say? Don't
awaken love, daughters of Israel.
Exactly.
Until it's so desired.
Yeah. Sure. Sometimes if you take everything seriously, you're awakening love to so many people. Who don't need love to be awakened for.
None of them need you to be given them. You know? None of them.
But on the topic of like you preparing yourself for, or asking the person if they're ready for like what you're about in terms of the Christian walk you're in. I think that you mustn't always put so much pressure on people, but at the same time, you must be confident about what you bring to the table. People, if you're a genuine Christian, and I really mean that, like seriously, if you're a genuine Christian, meaning you don't just go to church because your parents told you every Sunday morning, let me go to church, but you actually go to church because you believe that Christ died for you and you're supposed to live better, you know?
You love the Lord.
And you love the Lord seriously and earnestly. I think for you need to analyze your walk in Christ and be like, do I need a person right now? You know? Because sometimes you're out there like searching for a person and asking yourself, oh my gosh, God, look, all I want is a person and whatever. But you haven't self-analyzed to be like, how...
This is like a primer. I know it's tinted, but it's just a primer.
How serious am I about my faith, where if I get someone, I'll be able to give them the time of day to discover Christ and also still encourage him to do so as I also deepen my relationship with Christ. Because some people don't always come to you as like, oh, in Christ, or no,
oh my God,
I'm so like deep within Jesus, you know.
Maybe can I just pause you for a second there, hey? Yeah. Remember last year I told you that like when I was in a relationship, and then I remember I was even saying to one of the pastors at my church that like, it's so hard to serve God and man, guys, the reality of the Rona. It's so hard to serve God and man at the same time. I definitely got to the point where I was saying that like, God, it's either you serve God or you serve man. So it's such an interesting thing that you say now. Being in a place where you can both serve God and live life with this person, where the fruit is towards the purposes of God. Anyways.
I just need you to end your thought, because you just said it's so hard to serve man, and it's so good for you guys to be.
No, because you mentioned the fact that like being in a relationship with someone where we can both be of God, and I can also serve you, because really relationship is two people serving each other. Getting in a point where we both are servicing each other without neglecting God. Listen, that 100% is not a walk in the park.
But what I'm saying is that sometimes I just feel like if you walk your truth, right, other people just are attracted to that truth. You don't have to, like, I don't believe in those things of telling people, oh my gosh, you have to come to church with me every Sunday. I don't like that. If I'm walking and I'm serving in my truth, like I'm going to church and I'm in my truth and I'm serving God and whatever, if the more you don't do it, the more I'll be less attracted to you. The more you carry on in encouraging me and I start seeing an effort in how you do church, the more I resonate with what comes naturally to me. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't believe in people.
The further you are from God, the more it's gonna repel me from you. That's what you're saying.
100%.
Yeah, because I was about to disagree with you there, because I was gonna be like, it's not possible to do life when you're not walking the same.
I mean,
like that thing of like going to church. I do believe that you have to go to church together. I really can two walk. Uncle Amos says that, can two walk together unless they agree? Where we walking to? If first, because you know how they say first everything is first spiritual and then it's physical. Where we walking to? if we're not in agreement spiritually.
That before you even get to Amos, a lot of people live separate lives but are in a relationship.
Word. I think we're not talking about those
So,
people, surely, because
I mean,
you can't speak about.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in the beginning of a relationship, you don't know you're gonna marry someone.
Yeah, definitely.
Like when you're dating someone, you hope that this is a serious thing. But I mean, you develop and you discover things the more you in the relationship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So just because like you're dating, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna marry the person. The intention could be marriage, but as you carry on doing your life and as you hold true to the values that you're in, the more the person's also gonna discover. I mean, show themselves to you. You know. So sometimes you meet someone who's not like in the word like 100%, but they understand Christ and that's what they've grown up in, right? But you, let's say, are serving at church and serving the choir or wherever it is you serve in, and like you go to church every weekend and stuff, right?
The whole weekend.
So you go and you pray and you do what you need to do and right? And that's kind of like your routine. So now when you start telling your person, you obviously don't live in the same house, and the person's like, oh no, where you going? You're like, no, I'm going to church now. One Sunday. Next Sunday, no, where you going? No, I'm going to church now, you know. And let's make it realistic. Now you're in quarantine, right? So we are all in quarantine. You wake up on Sunday, the person calls you, or he calls you and stuff, and you say, oh hey, what are you doing? Oh shucks, I'm about to go into online church. One Sunday goes. We've been here for 21 days, so there's been like 3 Sundays already. So now every day when you ask him, what have you done? Nah, I'm chilling. Hey, oh, did you go into online service? You've sent him the online service. No, for 3 weeks this person in the comfort of his own home hasn't been going on to online mass. Like, what's the stimuli? You know what I mean? Then you're like, oh no, or let's say now it's not about mass. You guys are chilling on Saturday, or even on you speaking on the phone. He's like, oh my gosh, I read this passage in Matthew. Oh wow, you read Matthew? He's like, yeah, dude, I read Matthew. And I was thinking to myself, why do Matthew, Mark, and Luke all sound the same? And then you're like, oh wow, actually, this is an opportunity for us to speak about the Bible, you know? So there's always going to be chances, or like, someone can make an effort outside of what you understand as the normal effort, but you need to be open to seeing that. Do you understand what I mean?
Understand.
So it won't always be that.
It can't always be the conventional. He went to church with you, because he could actually be sitting in that church, but not sitting in the presence.
Exactly.
You must also be mindful of the time when, out of his own way, he's like, I was reading this, I was researching this. So good.
So you must be mindful of that, you know. And I'm not saying don't pay attention to the fact that he doesn't go to church, but I'm saying,
of course,
look out for other stuff that he does in order to
going
encourage
to church
him.
Is extremely important.
To encourage him to. To encourage him to actually, like, you know, read the word. And I think going to church is very important. I think
extremely important.
Those are telltale signs. Once the person's like, church isn't for me, church is for everybody.
Not being able to submit. I don't believe in people. I don't believe that we live in a world where we are accountable to no one. And for me, church is just a family of God that makes you accountable to the word. And I'm not saying that you're perfect, but it's a space that makes you accountable.
Yeah,
you need a community of believers, and I fundamentally believe in the church deeply. Those that don't do it, I feel like those are the strong ones.
Oh my gosh, side note. There's this new TikTok going around about how God made Congolese men and women. So the one thing that I paid attention to was the Congolese women are, they like money, you know, attracted to finances. And I find that I literally, it completely baffles me, this concept of what is liking money? Like, I don't understand that. You meet someone, right? This person has, every time you see them, they have like flowy weave and like really good makeup. And I understand the whole concept of the fact that like guys don't know how much makeup is and guys don't know how much weave is and stuff. I understand that. But once you get to know the knowledge and once you understand that, wow, a good weave is like 4,000 Rand. Then you look at all these things. You see her, she's always slaying. Then she tells you, okay, cool. Nah.
That's superficial.
Starting with the superficial, right? So you see this person that every time you see her, they look good for you. Superficially, because let's not lie. Men are attracted. Men are visual humans. Let's not act like, oh no, when you saw this hand, you were attracted to her soul. You didn't see it. You know what I mean? So you see she's looking good for you, like, oh wow, this girl can dress, whatever. Sure. Then you start seeing, okay, cool, this hand also, she's actually a good person, like her household is good and whatever.
She's
Like,
from a good family.
she's from a good family. And
She's got a degree.
like
She's educated.
They like me and they think I'm a cool person. And then now you guys start dating and stuff, and you can see now she wants a little bit more from you. She wants you to start speaking like your truth, like what's going on, babe, like how we moving forward in life, you know? Like,
Merv, I think I need to pause you.
yeah.
I think that you need to build this girl more.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like a lot of Congolese guys don't understand these Congolese girls.
What do you mean?
Like, she presents herself with honor and respect.
Yeah.
She has educational background. She loves her family. She loves the Lord. Has a relationship with the Lord. Now, build this case about the
Because
man.
isn't it the love of money? Like, some people like girls that, like girls that don't serve the Lord. But let's add that. She
Yeah,
serves the
because
Lord.
you know the conversation is about the Congolese girls love money. But she cannot present yourself like Esther presented herself, where she had beauty treatment for a year. She went for a year of beauty treatment, and she did that because to present herself to a king. Now we got a lot of Congolese men that are wanting to be up. They want God to upgrade them to kingship, but they don't want to recognize the queen. I don't like about this thing about women. Oh no, women love money. No, we want a king, and everything that comes with a king. And before we do that, we are trying to work on ourselves to present ourselves as queen. So just be a king.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're not a king. I'm saying don't come and higgy haga my queendom.
What do you mean higi haga? What does that mean?
Say that no, you have too many demands. Or no, you want money, you like money. No, I'm
But
a
I was
queen.
building that case. Let me finish it, right? So you see the girl, you're attracted to her, like physically, you're attracted to her. She does the things that you want her to do and whatever.
Yeah.
In terms of the fact that she's like in the word, you are like, you guys go to church together and whatever. Now, let's say you and this girl are like 2 years apart, right? You, for whatever happened to you in school or whatever, you haven't finished school. This girl now is finished, let's say she finished varsity, she's about to start span, right? Now she's saying, Ja, what are you saying in terms of like dot or whatever? Because we've been dating for like 2 years or something. Then the person's like, oh no, mais je suis pas encore établi. I don't know, I haven't done this. I haven't established myself or whatever.
Got it.
Then this girl happens to now be like, she's restless now, isn't it? Because obviously, let's not deny, every Congolese household or even sometimes African household, there is a timeline of when you're supposed to get married, or there's an agenda.
Not our household.
Like, I'm saying every in the general, not in, this is, if you're the exception to the rule, that's good. But for most people, Tontines are always asking, Ja, when are you getting married?
Yeah,
And what's the situation?
Very
you know?
sorry if that's your case, though.
So, like, and if you are part of like traditions that do the same, I understand what you're saying also, because it's not like it's a story. If you haven't heard, now you speaking to this guy and you're like, oh no, Nja, like, what are you saying? What is your story saying? Nah. This guy is now like, oh no, I'm going through like a lot of things and I haven't finished and stuff, which is completely okay, right? You can not be in the same like level in life. Like, one person can be doing one thing and the other person cannot be in that very same thing at that very same time.
Yeah.
Now, if you are Han, right, and you're ready and you're at that stage in time or that point in time when you can go and find yourself a man, and there happens to be a man that's way more established than the person that you're previously with, and this guy has money and this guy is like, knows where he's going and like tells us, Han, me, I want to be with you, I have intentions to be with you.
Hashtag life is money, the love of money is the evil, not money.
Yeah, I mean,
because you know people like to read between the lines.
oh no, I'm not saying like this person is in love with money or whatever. I'm just saying that he has enough money to take care of her and establish a household, basically, this new person. And she starts hollering at this person and talking to this person, whatever. And they end up they end up dating. Why is it that the person that has been left behind, the Congolese guy who has been left behind, will always label the girl who is with the new guy who's richer than he is as a person that's after money?
Materialistic.
Like, why is it that we always love it? If you yourself knew that you couldn't establish a house with the money that you didn't have,
Take
why is it that
responsibility
all of
for
a sudden
this.
when I need the money to establish the house, my money is money not worth having?
Come on.
Like, I don't get that. Like, I feel like too many guys just judge hands on just, oh no, she just wanted racks, oh no, she just wanted this. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes the person has a goal and a dream for their lives, and that thing extends further than yourself. And it's okay. Wow. I just feel like I'm so... And when I'm speaking to my friend, I was like, my guy, I don't know.
On this topic that you're speaking about, I feel differently about it, eh? A little bit differently, not on the perspective of guys, but on the perspective of that girl. I think it's a little bit interesting. I don't know. First of all, I am like my older brother, Credo. I don't believe in dating when you're broke. I do not. I do not believe in dating when you're young and without a job. I don't. It's just a waste of fruitful vigor. I'm just saying that Credo is the one that rooted this thing so that I'm not starting as if it was my own daughter. I do not believe in dating when you're broke. I don't believe that a guy can date when they're broke. But I just think that to avoid pressure, if we are not going to some kind of intent, then there's no point. My issue with the story that she gave, it almost seems like the girl is sniffing for the jackpot. So you dated this person. There's a lack of wisdom in that story. So you dated someone, the person couldn't reach your goal, and then you go to the next person that has the goals, the material things to reach her jackpot. There's something about it that doesn't seem...
What's the material things?
This person, I like you, but you don't have the material things. Sharp, it's okay. I'm not going to wait for you until I'm 30. Next person presents himself as though... And is someone that can give materially. For me, I think that both in your situation, in your conversation that you brought up, yes, the Congolese guy must calm down. I'm gonna go to not that she's right, but she has every right to leave someone who isn't a picture of the goal that she has for herself. Yeah. My conversation with that thing, I don't know if there's wisdom in those kind of moves. See, there's a tendency of, if it's from God, you don't have to go to Jean-Jacques, Jean-Marc, and then end up with Dieu merci. Do you know what I mean? I think that when it's from God, you have to apply a little bit of patience. Do you know what I mean? Unless you did something wrong, like what's his name in the Bible, first had to go with Leah, first had to go with the ugly sister, and then only after working, you work the line, you work with the ugly sister, and then you go to the one that you loved. In that case, sharp. But I think that often when it's from God, you can have a Rebecca story. You're just chilling there. Maybe your story is a story of patience. I don't think that when it's from God, you have to go to Jean-Marc and Jean-Luc and then end up with Dieu béni. I think that girl also has her own issue and her issues of the world. She has pressures from her family. She has pressures of financial means. She has all these pressures, but maybe isn't aligned. Because I think that oftentimes when you're aligned, you wouldn't have needed to go with Shama for 6 years and then put Shama pressure at 25. That why don't you have a home and all these things. I'm going with Jean-Luc. No, but I don't believe that. I think that girl also herself needs to work within herself.
But you have to understand the context that I spoke on. I said, if you have pressures to get married at a certain age, you have your own hopes and dreams to get married. Because when you date at 23, you say, I'd like to get married at 30, have 2 children. Your intention is not always if at 30 you don't give me this, I'm going to dip. Because how do you know you're going to find someone else?
No, I'm just using the example that you made.
I'm saying my whole thing was you can't judge someone for leaving you and say it's materialistic, because it's not always. Sometimes it's the person's dream. If the person wanted to get married at 30 and you guys are 29 and you've been dating since you were 25 and the guy says, I need another 5 years, and she's like, babe, I love you, but I wanted to get married at 30. This is not what I'm saying. However she sees herself, or whether she's applying God on that isolated space, it is her prerogative. It does not make her evil. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I don't think this is a conversation of evil, but I think that if it's a conversation of matrimony, we need to bring back the author of matrimony.
But we can't call it you like money. That's all I'm trying to rule out. It can't be
okay,
you like money and that's all you're good for.
Do you know what I think? I don't think that that's all you're good for, but you do love the things of the world. You have a reverence for the things of the world, because had you not loved the things of the world, then time wasn't going to be a factor. Then those dreams weren't going to be a factor. We all know since we left the varsity that these dreams that we have are no longer time, like not time, but like experience has showed us that my desires aren't necessarily gonna be like all of us wanted to be. Well, the people from my generation, my friends that are 1 year older than me and 1 year younger than me, all wanted to get married at 25. Like if they're Congolese that I know,
Yeah.
But what time
At 25.
taught me? Yeah, 25. What time taught me things don't happen in the time that you'd want to happen.
Yeah.
And
but
so
also someone
if
can
that girl
show
for
himself
me,
as a moins sérieux in the time that you're with them.
I prefer that.
So,
that conversation for
no,
me.
but I'm saying we're not speaking from the point, and this is what I'm saying is that we're not speaking from the point of view of the guy. This is what I didn't want to bring in. I didn't want to bring in the guys are moins sérieux. No, I wanted to speak in the conversation of the girl.
But
however,
the examples, the things that you brought in to complete your cases are time factors and financial factors.
yes,
so
which is what
we can't part from those things. And for me,
but my thing is the whole concept of what they're saying is the girl likes money. They're not saying the girl is not patient. So when they're pouring water into the cup, it's not a impatient girl, it's a you like money. But you can't take the context of someone leaving you because she wants to get married and completely put it into this person likes money. You can't do that, which is what I think a lot of people do, is that even if she goes with the guy and you couldn't provide her, the guy isn't even uber rich, but just because the guy is financially more stable than you'll automatically jump at she likes money. And I'm like, but how did you get that deductive reasoning from you guys having dated for 6 years, you still can't provide, or you're unable to because of pressures of life, because of whatever happened, which is okay, but it doesn't deduce that she only likes money. I just feel like that's I think for me that's what I don't like, is that that's all it ever comes down to. Guys love saying, oh no, she likes money because I'm not ready to wife her. How does that like equate you like money?
when we're having a conversation on relationship things, the way I think, I'm like, I apply if it was my son. When girls say it's okay, on va voir, let's just see what time, and then after 2 years, no, where we going? What's our hope? What's our aim? No, if you keep the same energy on va voir. Or bien, let us reveal this thing together at the same time. You can't come, we start a relationship, it's on va voir. We're not sure where we're going. And then, after 2 years, when what's happening? Where are we going? What's our aspiration? No! From the beginning, you yourself, your girl, you must pray to God and ask Him to give you vision. If you can't speak to a tonton and say that, you know what, this is where I go, this is what my vision is, this is what I see for myself. Me, I am the child of a king. This is the level that I put myself in. Me, I'm not gonna be seen on the street with Jean-Marc, Jean-Luc, Dieu béni.
For me, I don't consider my case a normal case. Like, for me, knew the person since I started varsity, dated for like
2 seconds.
I don't even, when did we start dating? 2018.
2018.
It's 2020, I'm engaged.
But you said where you wanted to be.
I didn't. The problem is you can't,
you may not have said
no, but when you're in a relationship, it becomes very hard for you to dictate the trajectory as a woman. It's very difficult.
Yes, okay, that I agree.
You can't dictate the trajectory that's not yours to dictate.
I'm saying before the relationship starts, we must have established, I think that we chat as friends before we get in a relationship. What do you like? What do you see? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I had that question before I got in a relationship. Where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Can I say something?
On your birthday, May
something.
2018. May 2018.
Yes.
I asked you a question and I posted this.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself next year? What did you say? I even have the picture.
Yeah, with the rock on my left hand.
So the next person that approached Merv, did he do it absently? No. He was very mindful of where you saw yourself in a year. You may have not said it, but your demeanor, the way you carry yourself, stated something. What I'm saying is that those girls that come in conversation in relationships, higi haga, like, oh no, we'll see. You never set anything on tablets. What do you see? What's the vision?
Even when you speak to couples that have been together for like 5 years or like 4 years, when they started dating, they didn't know that this was the person they were gonna marry, right?
Correct.
So when you start dating someone at even 23, 24, by the time you get to 25, you hope that this leads to marriage. But that was not necessarily the conversation you had started the relationship with, right?
Okay.
As you
It's
grow, just like when you meet someone at 17, you guys start dating. At 17, did they know they were going to be married? No.
You know what this is making me realize?
The hardest thing about dating someone when you're young is the fact that you have to change with them. And as your likes change, you have to accommodate for their likes changing too. But your likes can change at a completely different rate than the other person's likes. You may change and feel like I need, because if I go to, and I'm saying this as a, it's not even a question of I'm being selfish or whatever.
Yeah.
When your environments change, you start understanding or you start conceptualizing that there's so much more to life that I haven't tapped into. Is it the time for me to settle down with this person, or is it the time for me to go and explore myself? So you'll see people at like 27, they break up and then they go and they start exploring the world. It's not because I don't love the person, but it's because I've been, you've been opened up to, almost exposed to a world you didn't know, and so it makes you hungry for it. Just like at the same time, a hand can be like, I've been exposed to an aspect of life that I didn't know, and I want to explore that. And I don't think that you're the person that's gonna allow me to explore that type of life. And it's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean the person is materialistic. Like, that's the only thing. Like,
or even you yourself, you're laughing.
Like, your likes and dislikes don't necessarily mean, like, imagine a guy was like, oh, no, me, I want to go and travel Japan. And you're like, oh, but babe, we'll travel Japan together. And he's like, nah, I want to do it as a single man. Does that necessarily mean this guy is now a freak of nature who wants to yam the whole world? No.
Yeah, I believe
so why is it?
I love those guys that set up that like that from the get-go.
Why is it that, like, when it's the hand, it's all of a sudden she's materialistic? And I don't deny that, yes, there are hands that are materialistic. Let's not lie. It's true. They are there.
It's setting a vision of the life that you want. If at least writing it down.
Yeah.
You may not have it on a person. If you can't sit down and write in tablets the vision that you have for yourself, for your children, for your nieces, for your nephew, if you can't do that, you have no business being in a relationship. Did you have a list?
For what? My life?
No, for a man.
No. I remember I even went to see like my fiance's grandparents, and they were like, you need to write that. You need to tell each other what you expect from each other. And I think that's so important. Like now in hindsight, I realize that it's actually very important to do that. Because then you hold each other accountable. Like, remember, we promised each other that this is what we were gonna. It becomes a partnership. Sometimes when hands express what they want, they almost make it the obligation of the guy to fulfill it. Almost like the man must now realize this world for them. And I'm so against that. It's like you say, oh no, I want someone that's like a strong man and that can provide. But how are you contributing to the provision? Hands are they act so, he must just come and ma'am, you do direct your life to a certain extent. You can actually like span, and you can get like span for yourself, and you can actually become a good spanner and not leave it on your man to span for you all your life.
Can I just say that you removed everything that was on that brush by putting it in your hand? Because I had this conversation with someone, and they were saying that these Congolese girls, you go out on a date with them, on the 4th date they're already asking you, what are we? I'm like,
saying 100%.
Precisely on the 4th date, I should ask you, what are we? I believe that a girl should ask. I've never had to ask, what are we? Merci, Jesus. What? I've never had to ask, what are we? But to the girls that feel like they need to ask, what are we? First of all, ask it. Especially date number 4. Definitely ask it. And also, another message to the guys. Listen, even with my friendships, I don't need 5 outings with a girl to know that this person is going to stay in my life. Why do you need 16 dates? Because this thing of taking, oh no, we're going to take 12 years of dating. Oh no, we must first date 16 times before I tell you that we are dating. No ways. Go play with other people's children, not mine.
So, answer, if you're a gent, comment down below. Is 4 dates enough for you to know that this is the person you're with?
I don't understand why you knowing that this person is a great person for a friend after 1 soccer match, but you need 16. And that friend, you did 1 soccer match in preschool. Now you guys are about 34. Now for a girl, you need 16 dates. Stop this, man.
Let me see, how did I wait? Started chatting in May. Only dated on the 10th of August.
Pause. Can I just say something about this thing? Don't be fooled. Started chatting in May, true. Merv went away on a holiday, in May for 10 days. In June. This time he came meeting mom in our house to say bye to a girl that was going on holiday. Our house, guys, as a Congolese brother, even you yourself, as you're making the action, you know. What I'm doing now, I'm solidifying more than just a fling.
And having done that, he only asked me out in August. That's what I'm saying.
Regardless.
Sometimes it's not 4 days.
He himself
sometimes
knew.
It's 60. Sometimes things are more than words. Sometimes the person has actions, and those actions don't equate to we're dating, but you guys haven't said the words, he's my boyfriend, she's my girlfriend.
Correct.
So I think sometimes as hands, you chase these words of we are a couple, but the person has already shown you their intent, and this is not why. This is why I'm also saying that it's not necessarily the person saying, "Oh no, I want you to be my girlfriend." Oh no. Sometimes someone needs they need to see you in different situations and scenarios, and when the more they see you in those different scenarios, the more actually it reaffirms what they want to do. I don't like the fact that people want to rush a man into words. Sometimes girls want to rush people into words.
And you know how meaningless words are.
Men don't care about words. Men will tell you all the dribbles of words.
In fact, I feel like sometimes you'll get the most dribbled just because you wanted to.
And all I'm saying is, the words only came literally 3 months, 4 months later, but the actions were very consistent in the time when it was close to the words coming. Before that, it was also sometimes higgy. You need to know for yourself, is this a person that I'd want to do life with? Yes, this is a person I want to do life with. Are they showing me signs that they want to do life with me? If they're showing me signs, yes, then I continue with it. Stay loyal. So you can't be in a relationship sending other guys pictures. Even if you're not in a relationship, it's a vibe. And
what does pictures mean?
People be sending pictures of their faces to other guys, and I'm just like, what is this guy now? Or you just did your nails, you're sending your nails. Why? Why are you sending nails? Why? When did we cross those boundaries? Why are you doing that? And always know what your story is as a high, because it just helps you in the long run. Don't go by what the guy is saying. Look at the actions of what he's doing.
I'm just loving the way Christian girls are putting up the bar, bro.
I remember my aunt said, these things of building with men where we both start badly ended in 1990.
And she's speaking not as one that married well. She's speaking as one that married under on va grandir ensemble.
So she's like, realness. Do not be fooled, my girl. Find you a man that is established and knows what he wants.
And told you. Thank you, friends. This was a nice chat. Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
This was fun.
Thanks, guys.